Hi guys, I'm going to show you how you can set up your Raspberry Pi without using a display and a keyboard. First, we need to go to raspberrypi.org, navigate to software, Raspberry Pi OS. To install, we need a tool to write the operating system into the SD card or the USB drive. The tool is called Raspberry Pi Imager, and we are going to download the Raspberry Pi Imager. Here, I am choosing Windows as that is what I am using now. I have already downloaded and installed it, so I'll be canceling the download. Now we need to download the Raspberry Pi OS. I am going with the second option. You are free to choose which variant you want. After downloading, open the Raspberry Pi image tool. Click on Choose OS. Scroll down and select Use Custom. From here, I will be selecting the file that I recently downloaded. You can also choose from the other operating systems that are provided in the list. It will automatically download it for you. Now, click on Choose Storage. You need to have your SD card or your USB drive plugged in so that it will show up. Click on Write, wait till it's finished. Make sure you backed up all your files as your drive will be formatted. After completing, reinsert your SD card or USB drive again. After reinserting, you can see two drives that are showing, and you need to navigate to your boot drive. Inside this, we need to create some new files. To enable SSH so that you can connect your Raspberry Pi's console, you need to make a file named SSH. It can also be ssh.txt file. If you installed an OS with the desktop, you can enable VNC so that you are able to visually interact with your Pi. For that, we need to create a file named VNC. In order to connect to the Raspberry Pi, you need to have networking. It can either be a wired connection or a wireless connection. If you want your Pi to connect to your Wi-Fi, you need to make a text file and name it as wpa_supplicant.conf. Open it with any text editor. Here I am using Notepad, and in the description of the video I'll be providing what to fill in the file. Just copy paste it, fill your country code, your Wi-Fi username, your Wi-Fi SSID name, and your Wi-Fi password. After that, save this file. Eject your SD card or your USB drive after doing all these things. Put it into the Pi. It will take some time for the first boot, so wait for a few minutes. After that, you can use your command prompt or PowerShell in Windows, or in Linux you can use the terminal. Now, to connect to Pi, we need to use the SSH Pi at Raspberry Pi. Pi is the default username and the default password is Raspberry. And now we are connected to the Pi. You may want to change your password for the Pi. Follow the commands to change that. To connect using VNC, we need a VNC viewer. You can download VNC Connect from this website. I will put all the link in the description. I am downloading it for Windows and installing it. To configure Raspberry Pi, you need to use sudo raspi-config. Here you can see many options that are available. If you didn't add the VNC file at the beginning, you can also enable VNC from this Raspberry configuration menu. Now we open the VNC viewer. To connect, we need to have the IP address. To know the IP address of the Raspberry Pi, we use the command ifconfig. If you connected using cable, it will show up here. Since I am connected using Wi-Fi, my address will be here. You just need to enter your IP address, and the default username and password is Pi and the password is Raspberry. Enter it and you will be able to connect it. As you can see, it is not showing up properly. It's because we haven't got the display option and selected the resolution. We need to configure a resolution for the desktop for it to properly work in the VNC mode. So we go to the sudo raspi config and select display. From there we'll be choosing the resolution. Here I am going with 1920 by 1080p and clicking on OK and finishing it. And after this I will restart the Pi. After restarting, you can see it will automatically detect. You just need to go through all the setup process and you are ready to go. On top, click on Raspberry logo and you can see the menu. From here, you can access the Raspberry Pi configuration tool. If you want to change the display, you can select Screen Configurator and change your resolution and all. That's it. Now you can access your Pi from your PC or your phone.